Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we've got another how-to video for you. This time we are going to look at these round glass decorations. Now obviously these come in various shapes and sizes, but what we do in this video will cover you for all of the different shapes. Now first thing we need to do is size up our artwork. So we're going to shoot down on the computer and I'll show you what I do in Photoshop to get my artwork the right size. Right, so we've got Photoshop open here, so I'm just going to create my new document. Now I'm going to go 100 by 100 millimeters because these blanks are 75 mil across. So I'm going to go 100 by 100 and that'll give us enough room in the document to play with. So I'm just going to create a new document. I've got the resolution set at 300 pixels per inch and I've got an RGB colour space as well. So I click create. There we go. Now I want to create an outline so that we can line up the blank on the paper a lot easier. Now with the glass ones it's not 100% necessary because you can see through them while they're on the print, but it just helps to have a visual guide of where you're lining them up. So I'm going to create a circle at 80 mil in width. Yep, so that'll give us sort of 2.5 mil on each edge of the circle to line it up with. Okay, click OK. That's going to put my circle into Photoshop. And then I just need to go to the appearances section in the properties panel and select black for the stroke. That will give me an outline of the blank to work to. Then I'm going to get the artwork that Victoria has provided, and we're going to drag that into the document. Now you can drag that from your desktop, from another Photoshop document, it's up to you. As you can see, it's come in and it's too big, so I'm going to go to edit at the top left here, and I'm going to go to free transform. That is going to create a box with the handles, and we can just scale it up using the handles. It will scale up in proportion by default, but if you want to change the proportion slightly, if you hold down shift on your keyboard, it will let you sort of change the proportions, but we don't want to do that today for these. So I'm just going to make sure that's centered. You can also hold down Alt if you want to scale it in every direction, which we do, so let's go about there. That should be fine. Okay, so that's ready to print. I'm going to be printing this on my SCF 500 today. So I've gone to the print menu dialog. Now you can access this by going to File and Print, or by holding down Control and pressing P on your keyboard. Alright, so there we go, we've got our print. I've given it a quick check over and we're happy with the quality, and it's not mirrored, that's really important. So I'm going to lay that on the bench, and then I'm going to lay the blank on top. Now luckily with these glass blanks you can see through them, so lining them up isn't too much of a problem, but I do tend to find having that bleed around the outside, one, it's good practice, and two, it helps me visually sort of line stuff up and make sure it is in the middle. There we go. And we're just going to tape that down. So you want to tape it down so it's not going to move and rock while it's in the press. There is a slight bevel on these blanks around the edge as well, so what I tend to do is put my thumb on and make sure the tape is also stuck to the bevel on its way down, so sort of smooth it over. It just means it's got more to get hold of and it's not going to sort of wiggle on the tape that's loose. Yeah. So that's that done. We'll get the press set up and we will get it pressed. Okay, so for these glass blanks, what we're going to want is we want 190 degrees, that's Celsius, and 140 seconds in the press. Okay, once those are set, we'll do that. It's ready to go. Let's get this into the press and see what we get out the other end. Right, so the press is up to temperature. We've got our time set. We just need to get the blank onto the press. So, as with anything, I like to try and use the centre of the press if possible, or as close to the centre. It doesn't matter whether it's something this size or this size. You get your most even pressure underneath where the press closes. So that's on there. I'm just going to run across the front of the camera now and get some baking paper. As you know, I am always prepared. I'm just going to pop the baking paper over the top. Again, that's just going to stop any transfer coming back off, especially when you're doing these items that get really hot or you're cooking them for longer. The longer they're in there, you get more chance of back transfer. And wiping down your heat platen with mineral spirits is never fun, so we want to try and avoid that. And then same as we do with the ceramics, I just want to close that down. I'm going to not slam it shut, just nice and gently. And you just want to be just kissing the glass so that we don't crack it. Now the timer's going to run down on that, and we will come back and see what it looks like when it's finished. Right, there we go. So as you can see, that has opened. Now that did bounce a little bit. That was just the force of the release from the auto open press. However, because we've taped it down nicely and securely, that shouldn't have impacted on the print at all. So I'm just going to quickly get the paper off the back. Again, I don't always use heat gloves, but even if you've got asbestos hands like me, these glass items and the ceramic stuff really holds the heat. Okay, so there's that printed. We'll get it onto the bench and you can have a closer look at it. Alright, yep, so that's all there is to these blanks really, so there we go. It's cooled down a bit now so I can hold it. They're not quite as delicate as the ceramics, but you do still have to be careful when you press them, but if you follow what we've done here, you shouldn't have a problem at all. Stick with the channel, as I say, as always, we've got more stuff coming up, more tutorials, we're going to run through a lot of dye sub stuff, and we've got some other sort of interesting and exciting projects coming up as well, so stay tuned for those. But again, thanks for watching, and take it easy everyone.